So, as promised, I'm taking you for a recce of site 2. That's a road, the other side of that hedge, and then there's a big clump of trees there which I've got to ask about actually. I'm not sure if that's part of the package. But then there's a river runs between that copse and that little one over there, so that's where I'm heading now. But I think I'll check that one out just in case that's part of the deal. This is all ploughed, ready for potatoes, and this bit of land bordering the two bits of woodland it's basically left as wasteland. They can get rid of potato waste and stuff like that on it. It's pretty much just habitat. That's me parked up at the other side of the tater field. Let me just zoom out for you. There you go, give you a feel for the landscape. I came all down the side of the wasteland past the two woods, and I don't think that first wood's going to be for me. It looks to be mainly on the other side of the river and probably someone else's land. So I've come to the other side of this one, the far end, and found this field, which by itself looks good for camping. It's all nicely grassed, fairly level, good for tents rather than bashers and that, I suppose. But yeah, more family camping orientated, I think. So now I'm going to go in and see about the hammock camping. Sea of stinging nettles. At least there's plenty of tea and stew, eh? Cool. Look, up to the waist in nettles. That's pretty high. That is. He did say to me this is completely unused. He never comes here, and he ain't kidding. This certainly ain't trampled down by dog walkers, is it? That's amazing. He suggested that it was covered in something that wasn't knotweed, but that was as tenacious as knotweed. So I'm going to have to Google this plant and find out exactly what it is and whether it's bad news and not the sort of thing you want to be dragging back to your village. It's very peaceful here. Little bit of traffic noise from the road, a couple of 100 yards away, but pretty amazing place. And it borders a river, and guess what? Hey, I've only found ramsons. And there's not any fallen trees here. There's deadfall obviously, but no fallen actual whole trees. So I don't know whether that means it's being harvested or it's just really healthy, but you'd expect some fallen stuff. There's no point doing a recce unless you're picking your camp. So there's my first basher tree, 4 paces away. There's my other one, and my first fire for the first time I come here. See you back here in a little while. Hideous, isn't it? Maggots. Doesn't seem fair somehow, does it? I've googled this ground cover plant that the landowner told me about, and it turns out it's Himalayan balsam. It's a bit of a problem here. It's marching all the way up the River Severn because when it flowers it has exploding seed pods that eject the seeds up to about 7 metres away. So it basically marches up the river banks because that's where it likes to grow, and wipes out all the other plants, causes erosion because there's no roots from other plants to hold the soil together, and kills off wildlife because they've got nothing to feed on when it drops into the river. It's a bit of a nasty one. It's pretty. It's almost like an orchid when it flowers, but it's a problem plant. It's in the UK's top 10 most wanted rid of. Apart from looking pretty when it flowers, it has one more saving grace so far as I can tell, and that is that it's really easy to uproot. It's got a really shallow root system that's easy to get out. There's several bad things about this plant. Another one is that it's more attractive to our indigenous bees, honey and bumble, so they pollinate this thing and off it goes marching up the river. It's big, so it doesn't let anything grow that the bees aren't pollinating anyway. So it kills off anything underneath it, and you just get swathes of this stuff growing everywhere. And it's a bit naughty. It's not the ugliest plant in the world, is it? And the flowers are quite beautiful when they bloom. It's just a pity it's so voracious. It's got so many negative traits, like attracting all the bees and wiping all our plants out. It gets up to 3 metres. There was these things were recorded at 3 metres in Ireland. It needs to be taken out just because it looks like a triffid. That's a pole that's only going to keep getting bigger. Well, I hope you can pick this up because it's getting dark now. It's 20 to 10 under a bit of canopy, so it's probably a little bit darker than it is out there. You can still see quite a bit of light outside the trees, but I've cleared quite a big area. I've done 3 trees to allow for a little bit of offset with the wind, depending on what direction it's coming from. So that one there and that one there are the ones I'm using tonight because the wind's coming from behind me. And then I cleared the area around that one as well, so normally I would set them up between these two. But it all depends on wind direction. Now I'm going to light a fire and get a brew on because I've earned it. I brought a little something with me on this trip to help with that, and although it meant an extra tab into camp, it was well worth the effort. Stove wise, I wanted something a bit more substantial at each permission to make cookery and general fire use a little easier, and this trip gave me the opportunity to throw together some metal I've been waiting to use. The grid for the top has had a couple of incarnations now. It started off as the top layer of a rocket stove, which I never used, hence how clean it is, and then it changed into the missing bit of a rabbit run to block the end off. And now, after a bit of re-engineering and the addition of an ammo box and some desk legs, I've got a new camp kitchen for Riverside. Just a few drilled holes, some bolts, washers and wing nuts, and there you have it. I've left the centre bit for obvious reasons so you can fuel the fire, and the roof isn't fixed yet. I've got to figure out a way of doing that, maybe just a little runner across the top and then attach it to that. Or I may just have it as a cover for the grill, I don't know yet. Well, that does the trick, doesn't it? While we're waiting for that to get up to speed, let's have a look in the bag of tricks, shall we? So first out the bag, a nice Badger England's Own, with a slightly confusing picture of a stag considering the name's Badger, but I'm sure it'll taste just as nice. Looking forward to that. That's to go with my stew. And I had a couple of visits from the postman. I don't know what that one is, and this one feels like a book, so I'll open them for you in a bit. And then I had another visit from the DPD guy from Amazon. I'll be honest, I do know what this is, but I have to say I'm fairly impressed. I'll show you what that is. Right, I'll go for the mystery one first, the one that doesn't feel like a book. Oh, blimey. Ozark Trail mini torch, 2-in-1 function, spotlight torch, turns into a mini lantern. Oh, nice. So that must be like a diffuser. Wicked. Mick, you rock, Steph. Oh, that's a lockpick set. Kind of a guy do you think I am? Right, well, there's some new skills I'll have to get there then, isn't there? Well, that'll make for a good video, won't it? A load of test locks on the bench. That's very cool, that. There's about 6 different shaped picks there. Very cool. Ramir's Bushcraft and Survival. Wow, mate. Seriously. Yeah, that's very cool. I haven't read that one yet. I do like a Mears book, but I haven't done this one. That's fantastic, mate. But you really need to stop buying me stuff. Thank you. Dear Mick, I hope you're well. Please find enclosed a copy of Bushcraft Survival by Ray Mears. I got you this to say sorry for being a crappy friend, as I haven't got round to returning your call. No, that's not how it is. Every time I ring you, you're not available, and every time you ring me, it's likewise. So, you know. We have been ridiculously busy. Jo has started her own business making bags, folders, and all things crafty. So I have been daddy daycare. It's a good job, mate. I do a lot more of that now. It's just a lot of fun. I've got the news that I am being retired on the 13th of April, so I've done a shed load of paperwork and need to think about what to do. More nights out. Steph, wicked. That's fantastic, mate. I know this is from you, Steph, and you are a very bad lad, because I know what that is. Well, I know what it is because these little note things come with it. Note from Mr. Stephen Bishop. Please don't, Mick, please don't kill me. Your good friend Steph. And then, if you don't know what's in these parcels, you then open this little note and it says Solar Mark Night Vision Monocular. What is going on? I have had this open, I'll be straight with you, because I had to put batteries in it. But what I think to get through the post from a mate, I mean, come on. I can't keep up with this. He sent me a night vision monocular. It's like that black and white night vision.
It's early morning, and already the animals are astir in every tree and bush. But some animals are sleepyheads and just can't wake up. With a heave, he tumbles out of bed and ambles downstairs. He's still half asleep, but he manages to find the kitchen.
This balsam does have its uses. A resource that it gives you is tinder. I presume these are the sheaths that the new shoots bud out of, but then they die off obviously, and the shoots grow, but these are left behind. When they're in the undergrowth, deep in the shade, they're quite damp, but because I've cleared so much, all this has been out all night and it's got dried, and it's bone dry tinder now. So I did use this to light the fire last night, but I had to be quite selective about what I used because a lot of it was wet. You just get a handful, fold it over, give that a twist, ready-made tinder bundle.
He keeps discovering delicious new things to eat. It's all too good to be true. And it wasn't long before every scrap had disappeared.
What a way to spend a Sunday.
The fresh morning air makes him feel a lot better, so he decides to take a little walk. It's his first exploration since he came to the neighbourhood. Everything is new and exciting.
I think that might be a damselfly, I'm not 100% sure, but as you walk through this long grass they all get upset and flitter away. And this is the first time I've been able to get close enough to actually film one.
Oh, hello there. You're new around here, aren't you? Hmm?
Quite similar to dragonflies, but smaller and more delicate. Wow, that is really beautiful. I've been giving this book a skim through, Steph, and it's really good, mate. I don't know if you've read it or not, or you've got your own copy, or you read this one, but it's absolutely fantastic. I like all Ray Mears books, but this has got an astounding amount of detail in it. It's based on all the trips that he's done, you know, where he camps with tribes, goes to Alaska, all that sort of stuff, canoe trips. So it's whole expeditions, this book, rather than just tips. Yeah, it's a cracker, mate, thank you. Little bit of a sad note, the infrared camera don't work. Fired it up at home, tried it with batteries and it all worked there. I tried it in my front room, brought it out here and all I'm getting is a white screen. Potentially it's because I've hit the power button and the batteries are dead, so I'll put new batteries in it when I get home and try it again. Hopefully that will sort it out. But the lock picks and the book and the little lantern, fantastic, mate. That was really useful for reading with last night. Still don't get why you send me all these gifts, mate, but they're much appreciated. The stuff that you send me is just eminently usable and useful. So all I can say again is thank you very much. And I've got some new reading material as well. Right, I've got my essentials. Now it's off to get some ramsons for my lunch. I've beaten a path through the undergrowth, so it should be easy to get there now. Apparently you can eat the flowers, the leaves and the stems and the bulbs as well, but the bulbs aren't that good apparently. But you can pretty much eat the whole plant, but they're a little bit past their best now by the time I got back here. So I'm not going to touch the leaves or the flowers, but I'm just going to use the stems because they're still quite succulent. Time for a bit of harvesting for my stew. Might as well be comfortable while I'm doing it, eh? They're really strong smelling. more like onion than garlic actually. I know it's called wild garlic, but if you've never had this, it is more like spring onion. Chopped up, whacked in the stew. I think that'll be enough, won't it? Time for a bit of lunch prep. I know with sausage stewy casserole type things you normally put the sausages in whole, but I've only got a fork unless I want to be eating with that, so I'm thinking it'll just be easier to eat if it's in bite-sized portions. These are pork and Bramley apple sausages, so that should be very nice. Oldie special, don't you know? I think while I'm at it, I'll chop my ramsons as well. I'm going to chop this and the onion and a little bag of mushrooms I've got there. Do the sausages and then add this and the onion to the meat to fry them off, soften them a little, and then add these to the stew once everything's in with the mix. Oh, it is, yeah, it's sausage casserole mix, not a stew. So I've been saying stew the whole time, but it is actually a casserole mix. Cheating, not making my own. I should have harvested some more wild food and built one up. Getting smoked out though. It's decided to blow that way now. It's been blowing that way for the whole trip. Oh, this is going to be awesome. And to think I'm in a wood doing this, life of luxury. This thing is an absolute godsend. If you've got an ammo can laying about and a couple of bits of metal and a bit of grid, this I think it took me about an hour and a quarter in the end yesterday afternoon, before this trip actually. So got a bee in my bonnet about having this sorted and just cracked on. It was done in about an hour and a quarter. Because pretty much assembly wise all it is bolts. A few drilled holes and then just Meccano it all together. Really, really easy. Wild garlic going in. Skinning the mushrooms. And they're ready to go in when the casserole mix is made up. Yeah, it's about 300ml. If it looks a bit too little when I pour all that in, I'll just top it up. rough and ready. Yeah, it's gained a little bit of fluid from all the frying off and the softening of the onions and the garlic, but I'll have to add another little bit just to give it some simmer space. One last ingredient. And this has got to simmer for about an hour. And let's get it bubbling, shall we? I'm totally gobsmacked. I've actually prepped a full meal early, so it'll be ready in time for what, 1 o'clock. Let's have a look. What's the time now? 20 to 12. So that'll be ready by 20 to 1, which is lunchtime. I never do that. Good health, kids. Yeah, I'm not waiting for the stew. I'm only human. Oh. While I've been waiting for the stew to cook, I've fashioned a device for the fire. Obviously I'm right next to a river, so come the end of a trip, I don't want to be wasting my drinking water putting the embers out. So I've got a big white pot and a piece of string. That goes in there via that. One fire extinguisher. Now I don't have a plate, but I do have a frying pan and a fork. Whoa. Oh. 10 minutes longer than I thought. But then I've been doing other stuff, so. I'll tell you what, if campfire food gets any better than that, I don't need it. That's really, really lovely. Goodness me. So what's in there? Pork and brownie apple sausages, ramsons, wild garlic, an onion, 4 mushrooms, sausage casserole mix, and there's bound to be something I'm forgetting, but I can't think straight, it's so good. That's really nice. And I got to use my copper pot again. Wonder what it'd be like with chorizo. Wouldn't want to disappoint anyone, would I? Or bratwurst. This new ammo box stove is too bulky to be carting backwards and forwards every trip, so I'm going to hide it here somewhere. First job, douse it. Second job, make it disappear. Well, we've reached that sad time of day again. Pack up the kit and leave the trees behind. But I do feel like I got a lot accomplished on this trip. Cleared a fairly big area of all that balsam and nettles as well. So I'm pretty much covered in stinging nettle stings. And created two paths. One there to the riverbank and one there up to the Ramsons and the water collection point. So it's not like I've been slacking this trip. It's less leave no trace and more create a usable area on this one. So there you have it, YouTube. Permission 2, Riverside. I hope you've enjoyed seeing it as much as I've enjoyed being here. It's absolutely beautiful. It's only little and it's got its downsides, as you know, the balsam and the stinging nettles. Although that's a food source, so can't knock it. But it's far outweighed by more birdsong than I've ever heard in a wood before. And just the serenity here is off the scale. There's a road about 200 to 300 yards that way, and short of the occasional motorbike going, you wouldn't know it was there. I've been for a walk today. There's plenty of roaming space. I'm going to try and see about getting over the river so I can roam about over there as well. But it's just absolutely lovely here. Marks out of 10. Considering its small size and its plants, I think I'd still give it a 10. I suppose the sunshine helps. Everyone needs some room to spread their wings, don't they? Until the next time, take care and get out there.
Once indoors, Hammy falls fast asleep in front of the fire to end the first of many happy days along the riverbank.